Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, we're heading to Salem to check out America's oldest candy company with third-generation candy maker Bob Birkinshaw and his daughter, Jackie. We're here at the oldest candy company in America, so take me back to the very beginning. How did this company get its start?
Back in 1806, a woman by the name of Mary Spencer was on her way to New York from England, and she got shipwrecked. She was on the water for 2 weeks, and some fishermen found her, and they brought her to Salem. She asked the neighbors for help. They gave her a barrel of sugar, and she started producing the first piece of candy made commercially in the country called the Gibraltar. They became famous actually all over the world. She passed away. Her son sold the company to George Pepper. George Pepper kept the company going for quite a while. My grandfather eventually went to work for George Pepper at the early age of 14, and he eventually took over the company and bought it. My father eventually took over the company from his father, and he continued the company and ended up giving it to us, and now I've turned it over to my daughter.
What are your memories of your dad working with this company growing up?
He moved the candy factory to the basement of our house. He'd open the windows and put out a tray, and all the kids would be there grabbing the candy. So I grew up actually probably from about the age of 10 with a candy factory in my basement.
Isn't that every kid's dream?
It was the neighborhood kid's dream, let me tell you.
Those two iconic candies that are sold here, the Gibraltar and the Blackjack, what's the story behind them and how are they made?
The Gibraltar is basically a straight sugar piece of candy, a little cream of tartar. They're made the same way Mrs. Spencer made them back in her day. We have never changed her recipe at all. The Blackjack is still made the same identical way, blackstrap molasses. Again, they're all made by hand, they're rolled by hand, and they're cut with a pair of scissors.
But enough talking about candy. It was time to experience the fun part, making it. Okay, Bob, so we're watching you make your famous Gibraltar here. What's the process?
Right now, we're cooling them. We have to cool it nice and even. We don't want any cold spots or hot spots in it.
That peppermint smell really hits you.
Yeah. We use only true oils in the Gibraltars and Blackjacks.
As far as the ingredients go, these are the same ingredients that Mrs. Spencer was using?
We haven't changed this recipe at all. It's basically just a sugar piece and cream of tartar and water.
And something so delicious comes out of it.
Yeah. As I'm turning it over and flipping it in, it's starting to firm up.
Yeah, that doesn't look light either. That looks kind of heavy.
This one's a 25-pound batch. It's a fun business and everything, but it's hard work. Once it cools enough, we're gonna put it on a hook. We're gonna pull it. This piece of candy that is like yellow right now, you'll see it turn white.
Okay.
Because when he pulls it, it aerates it. And when putting the air into it, turns it into a white piece. Back in the day, they didn't have colorings. So what we do is we cut a piece off of this, and we keep that piece separate from the big batch. And once he finishes pulling it, and it's white, we'll put this piece on the batch, and it'll be like a stripe. So this is a way of getting a little bit of a two-tone piece.
And the final step in their time-honored process is hand-cutting each piece with a pair of good old-fashioned scissors. All right, you're trusting me with your famous candy here.
Now you cut them as a diamond shape.
You didn't warn me how hard this is. All right, how are we doing?
You're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to watch the pro and see how it's done.
A little bigger.
A little
These two
bigger.
are really good.
Okay. These ones are going in the half-price bin, right? Do you feel like, in a way, you're preserving a piece of American history by selling these flavors that maybe aren't as popular anymore?
Well, that is part of it. It's part of history. We think an important part of history, and we want it to keep going. The Gibraltars are still very, very popular. It's our #1 seller, that and the Blackjack. Every person that comes in here, 9 out of every 10, end up buying a Blackjack and a Gibraltar.
What do you attribute to this company's success? Because over the years, taste in candy, taste in sweets, they have definitely changed.
I mean, we are dated in history, but we still have to be current. We still try to come up with new ideas, new recipes, new flavors, but we still make all the old-fashioned hard candies too, the Horehound squares, sassafras, lemon. Lemon is probably one of our most popular hard candies.
We're not slowing down, we're not cutting out, we're adding, we're changing, we're moving with things, and that's important, and we work well together because of that.
What are some of those New England influences we can find with your products here?
Taffy is one of our most popular flavors right now. Matter of fact, I can't even keep it on the shelves. It's extremely popular. For the store in particular, our turtles. Our turtles are huge. Oprah Winfrey sent somebody in here actually, and there was a competition about who had the best turtles. We actually won in her September edition for her favorite things. And that's one of our biggest items. But we have several different things. We do peanut brittle, caramel corn, chocolates, caramels, fudge.
When the customers come in here and they're able to be in a place that's so rich with history and they're able to interact with you and hear those stories, what's their typical reaction to this place?
Most of them that come through and they start looking, the first thing they say is, oh, I remember this when I was a kid. We try to carry even things that we don't necessarily make, but were very, very popular back in the 40s and 50s.
I imagine you have those customers who come in generation after generation to buy the same candy.
We have people that come in, that came in, say, 20 years ago, and they bring their kids in now. We have people that bring in their grandkids. We have people that come in that remember coming here when they were on school bus tours and buying Gibraltars or fudge. Fudge is very, very popular with kids, so a lot of people that came in here years ago bought fudge. We do have a lot of history that way with families. That's another thing in the business that makes us feel good, that people from all areas come back and bring their families back. It's a nice feeling, a good feeling.
From those memories that you have of your father helping you become the most popular guy in school, I'm sure, pretty special to see your daughter now passing out samples and carrying on that special tradition.
It is, it makes me feel good. You know, it's like passing the torch. And sometimes it's hard. But we get to a point, you know, you have to do it. The business is going to continue. You've got to pass it on. And I'm lucky that I can pass it on to a family member.
To be able to preserve these memories and this legacy and keep it alive, what is that feeling like?
The history is what keeps me here, more than anything. I mean, it's in my blood. I love doing it. But when you think about the history behind it, it just keeps it even more so that you want to continue and hand it down and keep it going.
It becomes a part of you. You know, it's not just a candy store.
Makes it hard to walk away.
It makes it hard to walk away. I can attest to it, my age.
He's still full-time.
You know, people say to me, why aren't you retired? You know, because I actually like what I'm doing. I really enjoy making candy.
Coming up after the break, one of the most innovative and celebrated pastry chefs in America joins us in the test kitchen to share his spin on a classic dessert. When New England Living returns after this.